Welcome back to my channel for a Leica episode I really desperately waited for, because finally it's here, my new Leica SL3 Reporter. And those of you who are new on the channel, you should know, but everyone else knows already, the Reporter style SL camera was always my favorite. I always purchased it and I always loved it, because this is the finish where I hardly can turn my eyes away. And in this video, I want to unbox it. I want to show it to you. It will be a real beauty, I'm absolutely sure, although the package is still fully sealed here. And I will trade in my Leica SL3. I already agreed with Leica Zurich that they take it in their second-hand offering. And I will from now on shoot Leica SL3 Reporter style. Let's kick this off. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, support my work. I'm super grateful for that. For you, it's for free. For me, it means the world, because it helps, of course, to increase the reach of my channel. So many thanks if you subscribe and share and like my videos. All right, so there is a lot I would have to say to the Leica SL3. I was actually one of the first early adopters of the first Leica SL back then. And I remember my first lens I bought was the Zoom 24 to 90 millimeter. Is one of the most bulky Leica SL lenses, is a heavy lens, but is unbeatable in terms of image quality. And whenever we discuss this on my channel, I read comments about this is too heavy, is too bulky. And yes, guys, you're right. But you get rewarded by fantastic image quality. I never gave up on that lens, and from time to time I shoot it, in particular if I need the flex between 24 and 90 millimeter. And when a moment later we have unboxed my new Leica SL3 Reporter, I was really struggling so far to decide what lens I want to mount first. And one good option would be the 28 to 70 millimeter f2.8 constant aperture lens. I have a couple of videos about that lens on my channel. Is a bit more compact, a bit more lightweight than the standard Zoom 24 to 70 Vario Aramid. And I actually like this lens a lot, because 28 millimeter is a focal length that really suits me. You know that from my many videos about the Leica Q328. Is a focal length I really like, in particular for street. And if you can zoom here up to 70 millimeter, you have a lot of flex, of course. I was not so sure I want to start from scratch with the 24 to 90. And the third candidate I had in mind for first shooting this new camera is, and this is my all-time favorite lens in the Leica SL lineup, the 21 millimeter Super Aposomicron. I mean, when I first read that name, Super Aposomicron, I thought, okay, this is going too far. What the heck is a Super Aposomicron? We always know that the Sumilux is already excellent. The Aposomicron then is really terrific. But what is a Super Aposomicron? But also on that lens, you find a lot of information on my channel. Is an absolutely brilliant lens. And in the course of the video, I will have to make a decision. Will I go for my very first lens I had for the SL system, the 24 to 90, although it's bulky and large and heavy? Do I want to go for the newest Zoom here, the 28 to 70 Vario Aramid f2.8? Or do I want to go with a prime lens, which is the 21 millimeter lens? And I'll make up my mind in the course of the video. I have not decided yet, but clearly I have to start somewhere to shoot that brand new camera. Now I also have my Swiss knife here, my tool. Listen to the sound. Ooh, that is so nice. And now let's see if we open this, what we find. That's the seal. Safety first. Boom. All right, and this packaging will very likely fall apart in the way we are used to now from Leica cameras. Look at that. And here it is. This is the Leica SL3 Reporter. It says here, made for iPhone, iPad. That refers, of course, to the Leica Fotos app. And I'm so much looking forward having a Leica SL3 in this beautiful green Reporter style finish. So let's open this up. Here we go. Drums and whistles. Oh my gosh, look at that. Olive green finish here. We have this Aramid finish here. I will come to the material in a moment. And it is a beautiful camera. And what's really cool is, although the green finish repeats from the top side of the camera to the bottom plate, at the very bottom it's black, which means you don't need a green battery. You can use the black SL batteries in its newest making, where you have a bit higher capacity than you used to have before. I think it's 2200 milliampere hours. Very nice camera. I think I should get this set up in a moment. But before that, let's have a quick look into the box, what else we find here. First of all, we have here a card. Someone signed up with his personal ad personam signature for the quality and the packaging. I always like that. Accountability is a good thing to have in life, in all situations, by the way, not only if you are a camera manufacturer. Then we have a lot of paperwork here. Let's have a look. I don't think I need to get this out. It's always the same stuff you find, short instructions, you know, a little bit of brochure. Sometimes this little brochure which says The Essential, which is about the Leica philosophy of making cameras and lenses. And then here we have, oh yeah, now we talk business. You remember a couple of unboxings in the last months where they had these crappy USB-C to USB-A cable. Now here we have the best version of USB-C to USB-C, which is always in the Leica SL3 packagings, and I think also in the Q3 packagings. And this looks really good. It's a very useful, very valuable USB-C cable. And then here, what else do we have? Let's see. Let's get this opened. Here we have the battery. Let's check if I was right with my capacity, 2200 milliampere hours. It used to be 1800 in earlier versions. That's nice. I have freshly charged batteries here, and we'll get one into the camera in a moment. But see here, that's what I mean. Since it is green here, but black here, it perfectly matches the battery. And that, of course, distinguishes it from, for instance, my Leica M11P Safari, where you have a green finish here, and then you also need a green finish at the bottom plate of the battery. That's not necessary here. Gentle push, and it comes out, and we get a fresh one from somewhere in a moment. Is there anything else we have here? We have a shoulder strap. That's a Leica shoulder strap here, of course. Very nice. I don't use this particular one, so I leave it in the box, spare it. And is there anything else we need to look into? Let's have a look. I think that's it. That's all that's in the box. In the same way as Apple and, you know, Samsung and all the phone manufacturers, Leica gave up having to include a charger in the box. That's no longer the case. The philosophy is you have a USB-C cable. Everyone today has a USB-C charger. So connect it to your camera and you're good to go. I actually like external chargers. I have an external double charger for the Leica SL3, which is somewhere in the studio. I'll find it. And that is more convenient for me. But very often I also use just a cable. You know, if you are on travel, you have your iPhone charger with you. That is good enough with that cable or any other USB-C cable to get the camera fully charged in a reasonable time. That's it with the unboxing. Let's get ready to set up the camera and switch it on for the very first time. All right, let's set up the new Leica SL3 Reporter before I do a quick comparison between the Reporter style and the standard SL3, of course. What I already did is I applied here a matte anti-fingerprint protector. I don't like reflections on the LCD. I'm not doing it here on the top display, but on the rear display, I really want to have that protector. And I know a lot of people always ask what it is. I showed it now a couple of times on the channel. It's from Dipos here. It's a display protector. That's what it says. Anti-reflex and non-glossy, of course. And this one here is for the Leica SL2. Is a perfect fit. You see here, looks really good. No complaints. A little bit of a bezel here, but absolutely fine. And I think what we should do next is getting the cards out of this one here, which goes to the Leica store in Zurich. So we have an SD card. That is not a card I usually use. Kingston, 256 gigabyte. I will probably replace this by a Sony TUF card. And then we have here a 1 terabyte OWC. That is a great card. I was really getting a recommendation for this card some time back from the Leica managing director for Switzerland. And she said, try these cards. They are faster than any other card I'm personally aware of. And they are also super robust. So this one will definitely go now into the compact flash express type B card slot here. Let's put it in here. Done. And for the SD card, I think I will switch. Let me get another card and then I will be back in about 10 seconds. I'm back. This is the card I want. It's the Sony TUF. And you see here, read transfer speed is 300 megabit per second. Write up is 299 megabit per second. It's a super robust card. And I always use this card for some years now. And we don't have to spare the packaging. No need for that. Here we go. That's it. And that's the card I want to use in the Leica SL3 Reporter. So let's get this open again. I never know which the right direction is. Maybe it's this one, maybe it's not. I think this is the right one. And now it snaps in. And we have already cards. I also mentioned before my double charger for the Leica SL3 batteries. This is good for the 1800 milliampere hours and the 2200 milliampere hour batteries. It has a USB-C port here, and then you can plug it into whatever charger is in your reach, and then you're good to go. They should be fully charged. So let's get one out. And again, I like that although this is green here, in this matte green finish, olive green, it's black here. So the battery just is not distracting. Boom. Look at that. So battery is in. We have cards. We have a battery. That's good. We have a display protector here. So we're almost ready. Now the big question is, what lens do I want to shoot on that new reporter style Leica SL3? And I think I'm going for the 21 millimeter super apo summicron. It's just such a nice lens for landscape, street photography. You can also do people photography with that lens. It's perfect for architecture, and it's currently, I would say, my most favorite Leica SL lens. So why not starting with the best I can offer to this new reporter style camera, and let's mount the 21 millimeter. So let's go here. Let's get this off. Full frame sensor, 36 times 24 millimeter in Leica SL cameras. Let's get this one here off. And let's see where we need to mount this. I think it's here. Here we go. Careful, I don't want to scratch it. Ooh, and this is solid like a rock. There's absolutely no play on the lens mount of the camera body. It connects flawlessly with the lens. The lens is also weather sealed. Let's have a look here. You see the rubber sealing here. So no harm will occur if I shoot in nasty weather conditions. And the way this snaps in, listen to that. Ooh, this is so good. And look here, no play. This is a very solid camera. I think generally the Leica SL system is a really, really great camera system for everyone who is into serious photography. And there are a lot of professionals out there who shoot all their professional work with Leica SL3 cameras. What I want to do now is I want to quickly set up the camera. I also want to connect it with the Leica Fotos app, get the Leica looks installed on the camera, inside the camera, of course. And then I want to quickly talk about the body design, because there are some remarkable differences between a reporter style and a standard SL3. And then I will already conclude the video, but it will be a lot of fun. And in the course of the week, I will shoot that camera and enjoy it big time. Okay, let's do a quick setup of the camera. First of all, let's enjoy the usual beautiful animation here. Let's switch it on. Here we go. And we have that famous button here, which is also the standby button, of course. We have a flip tilt screen here, LCD screen, Leica SL3. No dedicated reporter animation. I didn't expect that. Let's say we have English. We do this in a moment. Yes, I want to skip this for the time being. Time zone +1 is fine. We don't have daylight saving time here. We have currently, I think, the 10th of November. So with day month here, I'm comfortable. That's good. Let's move on. Let's say we have here, first of all, the 10th. That's good. Then we have here, let's go backwards. We have November and we have 2025. Look, I'm going always in the wrong direction. This is strange, but not so bad. And then we can go back here. We can confirm this. And we have the time setting. Currently is 12 minutes past 12. It's lunchtime here. This is my Leica watch, by the way. I love this watch here. It's very sporty, is very robust, is water resistant, 100 meter, works for me. A good watch for a photographer. So let's go to the time here. We have 24 hours is fine. And then we have here currently 12. Let's go backwards to 12. Here we go. And then now it's probably 13. And here we go. This is also set up. Good. I think we are done. Let's half press the shutter button and we are back in live view. Let's get the lens cap off here. Let's have a first autofocus, immediately green. The autofocus system of the Leica SL3 is really, really good. It's the best Leica ever implemented. Contrast detection, object detection, face detection. They talk about the triple concept here in the same way as the triple resolution sensor. 60 megapixel native, then 36 and 18, depending on whether you go for large, for medium, or for small DNG and JPEGs. Let's quickly go in here. We can customize this. I do this later. I think for the setup here currently, autofocus single is fine. Autofocus mode field is fine. Focus setting, autofocus setup. I don't want to have the pre-focus. This is only consuming battery. I don't need that. The rest is fine. Let's go to focus aid. Assist lamp, auto magnification is good. Touch autofocus, I don't want. Switch it off. Here it's off already. Let's go back here. Exposure metering. I think I want to go to center weighted for the start. ISO settings. Auto ISO, we can go much higher here. We can go easily to 12,500 or 25,000, what have you. Let's go to 12.5K. Shutter speed limit is fine. ISO, I want to reduce to actually 1600. And that's it. Floating ISO, I don't want the camera to steer that. I want to do it myself, and increments 1/3 is fine. EV increment 1/3 is fine. Drive mode single is good for the time being. Self timer, no, of course not. Auto white balance, JPEG, DNG. JPEG only for preview. I want to have a full resolution preview, but I don't work with JPEGs. I always work with the RAW format. DNG resolution large is fine. JPEG settings, not so important. IDR I like on JPEGs for the preview, and here I would go to medium. And here in the settings, I would go to, I keep this on auto, that's fine actually. Leica looks, we have here standard. I think that's for the time being good. Let's go back. Noise reduction, long exposure, I leave on, but it's a blessing to being able to switch it off. Perspective control, we later put on a customizable button. 35mm stabilization is on. Panning mode normal is fine. Then we have here aspect ratio. That's the native aspect ratio of a 36 to 24mm sensor. Flash settings we can skip. Customized controls I do later. I have a lot of tutorials on these type of cameras on my channel. If you want to see how this really works, fully fledged, look them up. You'll find them easily. Capture assistance I also do later. And storage management, that is important. Let's format this stuff very quickly. Format compact flash express type B card. Takes a moment, and then it will take me back. SD card, make sure if you format that there is nothing on the cards which you would need. Yes. And this is also hopefully done in a moment. Is okay. Storage option, I always want to have DNG and JPEG on both the compact flash express and the SD card, so I have a backup if something bad happens. That's fine actually for me. And then edit file name. This is an L. I think this is fine. We just leave it that way. You have not many options here anyway. Shutter type hybrid. No, I go to mechanical. And auto review I want to have on. And in the settings, I want to put this on permanent. And we can go back here. Group display mode. Yes, I want to have that. Live view settings. This is fine. And the rest we don't need at this point in time. Leica Fotos I do later. USB settings. Charging, yes, activated. I use this very often in USB mode. I think I want to have for the Leica Fotos app on Apple MFI. Very quickly, user profiles I do later. Camera settings, what do we have here? Display, auto is fine, high is good. LCD brightness, auto, I guess that's all fine. This is a good discussion point. Electronic viewfinder frame rate. A lot of people complained that the new Leica MEV1, and by the way, there is a bunch of videos on that new Leica M camera on my channel. has in the EVF, which is the distinction criteria of the MEV1 compared, for instance, to a Leica M11, has only 60 frames per second. So this is a good opportunity to quickly talk about that. This is plenty. It is really enough. I never did shoot any Leica SL camera with more than 60 frames per second. There is no lagging, it's fluent, it's fine. And if you really want to go to 120 frames per second, you have the option. You don't have it on the new Leica MEV1, but it will consume a lot of more battery power. This is a really power consuming feature. So I keep it at 60 frames per second, and whoever wants to listen to my advice, I advise you to do exactly the same. Rotate info bars, I want to have that, of course. Power saving, auto power off, I don't want. Yes, I accept that. Display off, I want to have after 5 minutes. And power button LED, I want to use, of course. And what do I want to have here? Probably auto, that's fine. Then date and time we set up, Wi-Fi later, reset camera, not, because we just did a lot to actually get it up and running. And that's basically it. I think we are done. Acoustic signal, low is fine. Electronic shutter sound on. Autofocus confirmation on. Notification, no, definitely not. Then camera information, let's quickly check here. We have camera firmware currently 3.1.1. If I'm not mistaken, this is the newest one. I'll confirm in a moment on my MacBook. And the lens firmware I need to check. Always make sure you have the newest firmware, and language we already set up. So this camera is basically up and running now. I will later take about 15 minutes to set up my info profiles, user profiles, what have you, and customize a few buttons. And I will not do this live in front of the camera again, because I did it many times in tutorials, so you know how this works. But for my workflow, it's essential to do it once in a while before I go out and shoot. What I want to quickly do is connecting the camera with the Leica Fotos app. So for this, we go here into Leica Fotos. Let's go here. Let's continue in the menu. Here we go, Leica Fotos. And then we go here to pairing. Well, it's already found via Bluetooth. I wanted actually to use the cable, but you can also do this via Bluetooth, of course. And it says here, new camera found via Bluetooth, add camera, connection setup, starting Wi-Fi on camera. It's more convenient anyway without a cable, but the cable is sometimes the more stable connection. That's why I typically prefer it. But now the camera was basically overwhelming me with that quick connection here. Here it still says the Leica SL3 and then the number. Finding accessories, setup. Accessory paired, that's good. Here we go, camera edit. Time sync, yes, enable. Geotagging, enable. Why not? Allow while using the app. Cable connectivity, for faster transfer, use the USB-C cable to connect the camera. I think that's a good idea. Let's quickly do this. So we have the USB-C port here, and we can take that cable, which is out of box, put it in here and connect it with the iPhone. That's why I set up MFI before. Let's continue. This is not working in the case. That's the disadvantage from this beautiful high value Leica cable. It's not working in some of the cases, but we can get it out of the case. Continue. And here you see the Leica SL3 is connecting. I needed to do this anyway because I have this new smartphone here. So let's use the USB connection. Successfully connected. Allow content to connect. Camera is connected. Here we go. And now we have here live view. And we can actually shoot. Here you see it. This is my studio. I can take a shot. Boom. So this is all connected. What I actually want to do is I want to go back here and want to go to the Leica looks. And we have them here. And you see we have a new one, which is bleach. We have the Greg Williams, teal, and so on. I want to send them to the camera now. And let's go to bleach. I think that's a nice one. Transfer to Leica SL3. Transfer successful. This is really working like a charm, although you get sometimes an error message in between. Greg Williams, yes. I know the guy, by the way, from Leica events. Great photographer. Transfer successful, easy. Unfortunately, they typically don't have storage in the camera for all the Leica looks, but you have for some of them. Let's take the newest ones. The teal here is nice. Transferring, deal done. Let's go to brush, transfer. And it always gives you confirmation on the camera if you look here, transfer complete. Let's go here, Chrome. I don't want eternal, I always like. That is a nice one. Used it a couple of times. Let's go back here. Contemporary, classic, I don't want. I think, well, let's go for contemporary. It seems we still have space here. Transfer to Leica SL3. It's lightning fast with this USB-C cable here. Super fast. Classic, why not? Okay, now it says Leica look storage is full. I actually have what I wanted. I'm fine with that. And for the time being, I'm okay. What I also want to do is later, besides customizing some of these function buttons here and also getting the user profiles done and the info profiles, I also want to get some LUTs for video shooting on my compact Flash Express Type B card, so I can also use them in the camera. But I think in terms of setup, that's it. What I want to do now is I want to quickly, let's disconnect this now. What I want to do now is I want to quickly do a comparison of this Reporter style SL3 with the Standard SL3, because there are a few things I want to call out and want to also quickly talk about the quality of that camera body, which is exceptionally nice. All right, so what exactly is that material which is now on the body of my Leica SL3 Reporter camera? Well, first of all, I pronounced it the wrong way. It's pronounced Aramid and not Aramid, as I said in my intro. So Aramid is the way we should pronounce it. And if we look here in Google AI what it is, it's a family of strong heat-resistant synthetic fibers used in high-performance products like ballistic body armor, protective clothing, and composites. And you see here a list of properties: high strength, heat resistance, low flammability, chemical resistance, and so on. And applications are protective gear, aerospace and marine, automotive, sports equipment, and some other areas of application. It's probably best known under a brand name, namely Kevlar, if we look this up in Wikipedia. And it was developed by a lady, whose image is here, by the way. Very friendly old lady, and her name was Stephanie Kwolek at DuPont, very large conglomerate. And she was aiming for high-strength material. And commercially, it was used for the first time in the 1970s. And if we look up the article by Peter Pixel about the new Leica SL3 Reporter, they also repeat here what Leica is saying. In addition to the tougher exterior, Leica claims that the special trim on the SL3 Reporter has a unique texture, which it says offers a significantly improved grip. And it will also develop some patina over time if you use it a lot and have it a lot in your hands. And that gives the camera a unique look, which basically proves that the photographer has used the camera, extensively used, and it carries the traces and the history of all these photo shootings you did with that camera. Very, very nice. So that's what the material is all about. Let's continue here on my filming table with a few more details on the camera. Since we now have an idea what this Aramid material here on the camera body is, that fiber material here, and on the standard Leica SL3 we have that rubber type texture, let's look at other design differences. And the first one I want to mention, of course, is that here the Leica engraving is very eye-catching. It's white on black. That's the strongest contrast you can have. Here it's black, it's black matte finish on olive green. And that is a little bit more discreet, of course. We have then the olive green top side and the olive green bottom side. And here everything is uniform color in black, of course. We have here the red Leica logo. That is not on the Reporter. You don't have that red logo, which is always so eye-catching, where people from a far distance recognize that this is expensive gear. You have here a finish of the lens mount button for removing the lens in a silver chrome, and also on the shutter release button. Here it's in black, fully matching the other elements you have on the camera body. And from the front side, that's highly likely it. There is not much more to recognize here. Everything else is the same, but these are of course some stylistic design elements which are eye-catching differences. The engraving the missing Leica logo here on the front side and the different finish, here chrome finish and here matte black finish on the lens mount button and on the shutter release button. There is absolutely no difference if we look at the bottom side of the camera. If you look here, this is absolutely the same. The battery release knob, the battery. As I said, I appreciate that this is in black and not in green, like we have it on the Safari edition for the Leica M11P. And no differences. The mount for the tripod is in the same position and everything looks exactly the same. On the top side of the two cameras, I don't spot any differences here except the shutter release button in chrome finish and here in matte black finish, which I already mentioned. But there is one nice detail here which caught my attention. And here is a little port, and that port looks like a flash sync port, but it's actually a timecode socket. And here, although the control elements are all in black, including the hot shoe, Leica decided to keep this in olive green, matching the color of the viewfinder hump here. And that's quite interesting. You can screw this off here. Look at that. And it is in olive green finish, although all the rest of the elements, they are all in matte black finish. And that's a nice little detail which caught my attention. It's on the Standard SL3 also in black, but here it's olive green, and I think it looks just nice, and maybe is to have matching colors on this side and on this side. I don't know, but it's a detail which I found and I like it. On the rear side of the two cameras, also no differences. This is exactly the same in terms of finish. The only difference here is green at the top, green at the bottom, and here it's all matte black finish. But otherwise it's exactly the same. So this is a true Leica SL3, but with a very nice finish. This olive green always looks very, very good in my opinion. I think it's a bit more discreet based on the missing Leica logo here and the black engraving instead of white on black, like here, black on green. And this material here on the camera body, let's remember how we pronounce it, Aramid, is very nice, of course, and is very good in hand in terms of finish. The hand grip of the Leica SL3 was always something I really appreciated. And now having it here in this hand with this texture, which in my opinion is superior to what we have with just plain vanilla rubber finish on the Leica SL3 Standard, is just pretty cool. All right, I spent a few moments to set up the camera for my own workflow, and want to show you quickly here on the user profiles what I have set up here. So here we go, user profiles, and if you look here, we have here a default profile and we have one profile for still images. I've set up one for people with continuous autofocus and face and body detection for tracking, and one for a tripod with a low ISO value and self-timer and all of that. So this camera is fully set up for me. I also customized the button. And let me conclude the video. So what do you get with the Leica SL3 in general, and then on top with the Leica SL3 Reporter? You get a highly capable camera, the best autofocus system in the Leica world they have to offer. You have a wonderful collection of lenses you can use, Leica SL lenses natively. Of course, L-mount Alliance lenses from Sigma, Panasonic, what have you. A lot of choices. And with adapters, of course, all kinds of other lenses, including Leica M lenses. What's picking up for me always when it comes to the Leica SL3 is that Leica really makes a firm commitment on weather sealing. You have a lot of camera brands, for instance, the Hasselblad X2D Mark II, which I'm shooting a lot these days, where you think you have a weather sealing, and there is indication for a weather sealing because there is rubber sealing between the lens and the lens mount and so on, and it's a very robust camera body, but the company who produces the camera is not committing to an IP rating in the same way as Leica here. Leica says this camera is IP54 rated, and there is a clear definition what that means in terms of protection for splash water and for dust. And I appreciate that. It gives you confirmation, it gives you a firm belief what this camera can do and what it cannot do. And the Leica SL3 is very specific. Leica says IP54. Now, in addition to the standard Leica SL3, what get you here? Well, first of all, a beautiful design. That is just very, very beautiful. It's a pleasure to have it in hand and to shoot it. It's just so nice to have this camera and, you know, using it for all kinds of applications, professional work, but also recreation. You have this very robust camera body, which goes the extra mile on that Aramid Kevlar type fiber material here, which is very robust. We'll also get over time some patina, but that's fine for me because it's my camera. I'll not give it away. And it's okay if a camera looks in a way that people see this camera was a lot enhanced and has been shot many times. So you get a little bit of extra here: design, body protection, robustness, ruggedness. And all in, this is a package I can fully recommend. Now, what I will do in the next days and weeks, of course, I will enjoy shooting that camera. You know, shooting the Leica SL3 really is nothing new for me. I did this, I don't know how many thousand times. It's one of my cameras to go to for many applications. But shooting with this particular design, with this particular finish, where you have this special grip, Aramid fiber texture here, that is something special, which I will also especially enjoy. If you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.